Ladies and gentlemen, residents of all ages, the future of LumberJillville lies in the winner of tonight's matchup for the LJV Championship. Let's meet our competitors. Introducing first, your challenger this evening, the royal leader of LJV, our sassy queen, Diva Marie. And introducing your champion, the betrayer of the mayor, with the seduction for destruction, everything that embodies evil, Co-Mayor Alexa! Tonight's match is a no disqualification match. Anything goes tonight, ladies. Now the first woman to pin the other, 1, 2, 3, will be declared the winner of the LumberJillville Championship. Now, is there anything y'all want to say before we get this match started?
I've been training totes hard for this moment. Time for me to show out.
Really? Co-Mayor Alexa has nothing to say. That's definitely a first. But either way, let's get this match started. Ring that bell. Oh, come on, Queen Diva Marie. Just to be clear, I'm gonna be completely unbiased. I'm making the count, no matter what. Sweep the legs.
We are here to secure your victory, Co-Mayor Alexa.
They're here. Do it now.
Whoa! Is that who I think it is? Eek! I thought she was dead. Whoa!
That's right. I am all healed and recovered from your vicious attack, Co-Mayor Alexa. Marin and I have been planning this surprise attack to even the odds, and today we take what is ours, LJV.
Yes! Co-Mayor Alexa, I got something very important to say to you. I'm sorry. I love you.
Do it, Marin.
It's time I finally let our history be history, and I stand up for myself and LJV. Do it.
Make the cover.
1, 2, 3. You did it! And new LJV champion of the town, Queen Diva Marie!
OMG! I can't believe it! I did it! We did it, Mayor Aaron! Co-Mayor Alexa's attempt to take over LJV has been salted!
I think the word you're looking for is halted. You halted Co-Mayor Alexa. But either way, I'm so dang proud of you. I mean, finally, Co-Mayor Alexa has been put into her place and her reign of terror is over. Her little evil booty can sit in the truck.
Oh, the evil has just begun. Co-Mayor Alexa may have failed you, but she is a mere vessel to Trish Zuzu. When the soul transfer is complete, I will be unstoppable.
Did anyone catch what she said? What's a Trish Zuzu?
Okay, I hate to talk like a sailor because I'm like a lady and all, but what the
More like catch what it said. I'm afraid we might not be dealing with Co-Mayor Alexa. We may be dealing with someone or something far more sinister.
Oh, just great. You know, I predicted this would happen as it happens every year. What's today? I don't know to watch. Probably October 1st, and you know what that means? Day 1 of Jill-O-Ween.
Mayor Aaron, if what she just said is what I'm thinking, I'm afraid Co-Mayor Alexa might be really sick.
Sick? Nah. She seems fine.
I suggest we take her to get some rest and try and figure out what just happened. I think I have an idea what is going on here and it's not good. I'll do some research on this Trish Suzu she spoke of.
Oh, infiltrated her body. Gross. I hope they at least used protection.
Alright, either way, Dexy, why don't you help the girls take Chimera Alexa somewhere safe, somewhere she can get some rest. But before y'all go, I just have a real quick question. So when the lights got all red and her voice got all... Did any of y'all happen to poop a little bit in your pants? Good. Me? Neither. I'm gonna go review this figure. Hey y'all, welcome to LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. Now before we get started, I just want to remind you to please hit subscribe to become an official resident of LJV and get a first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews, like today's very exciting figure review of Basic Series 140, Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Now I am super excited for this figure because it does actually represent the attire she wore at SummerSlam 2022, which was held in Nashville, and I was there. So I'm real excited to dive in and take a closer look at this figure. It looks like she's got a new face sculpt and face scan, so we'll see how it holds up. But either way, apparently Jill-O-Ween has begun, if you can't tell from the intro. So I don't know what to expect this month, but as y'all know, Jill-O-Ween is all month long. So make sure to stay tuned for the next video and hopefully things go up. With that being said, let's take a closer look at this figure, starting with the packaging. So this is the last time we're going to see this style packaging. What I mean by that is starting in Basic Series 141, it's going to have a new look to it. And you can look at images on ringsidecollectibles.com. Basic Series 141 does include Bianca Belair, so I'll be reviewing that very soon with the new style packaging. But I'm going to miss this packaging in itself because I was a big fan of the black and red theme, the image of the superstar. And I don't know why, but I love that blue stripe going down the side with the series number. I just thought it looked really cool. So I think it's lasted about 2 years, this style packaging in particular, and I've loved it, honestly. So we'll see how the next future series look, but I'm going to miss this kind because I think it looks really cool. So here we have Ronda, nice open bubble. We have an image of her with a little smirk there. We have the series number on the side. And on the back, we have the rest of the series there. And then, let's see, she is listed as a grappler, and then we have her signature moves there. So that's cool. Not much to say about the basic packaging, but I just wanted to give y'all one last look of this style because I really do enjoy it. And we'll see if 141 is better in my opinion. But with that being said, I'm going to open this up and we'll take a closer look at the figure itself. WWE Basic Series 140 Ronda Rousey. This attire is from SummerSlam 2022, which took place on July 30th from Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. I was there live, so this is a really sentimental figure to me. Now on this night, Liv Morgan would go on to defeat Ronda Rousey to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. Alright, so my first impressions of this figure, I mean, it is what it is. And I say that because they chose to go with a really bland, really plain attire. Now, I do like that from time to time, especially in elite figures, but when they have bland attire in basic figures, it just kind of makes the figure seem very average. And in my opinion, as far as a basic figure goes, it can't get much more average than this. Now, I do like that they chose the attire from SummerSlam that I was at, but I wish it was released in elite form, right? And on top of that, something about this face sculpt, this face scan, seems off. So we're going to jump right in and dive real close and look at that face sculpt, face scan, and see what's going on there. Alright, so I am not a huge fan of this new face sculpt and face scan. I think it's mostly the sculpt that throws it off. I think it's a little too bulky and chunky. It looks like an Andre the Giant face sculpt shrunken down to female skull form, in my opinion. It just does not really fit the contours and shapes of Ronda's face too well. And if you look at it from different angles, you can kind of see what I'm saying. It just looks bulky, it looks puffy, and it doesn't really look like Ronda, y'all. Does not look like Ronda, and that's pretty disappointing because she's had some pretty dang good sculpts and scans, as I'll show you from her previous figures in a later segment. Now, something that they could have done, especially because that attire is so plain and so basic, no pun intended, is they could have added that unique eye makeup that she had on around her eyes, going up into her eyebrows. You can see it on the packaging, and I'll put an image right here of exactly what it looked like, and we did not get that in this figure, which is really disappointing because, like I said, it's not like they spent the extra money in the attire because there's not a whole lot going on. So that's really a big letdown in my opinion. Now, they kind of tried to do something by just putting dark circles around her eyes, but it just looks like Ronda hadn't slept in about 3.5 weeks, or that she's turning into a zombie, something to that degree. But yeah, so it's really disappointing that the eye makeup that she had on that night is really unique. They did not put it on her. And on top of that, this new sculpt it's pretty brutal. So yeah, I don't really have much good to say about it. Now, the hair sculpt is okay. I mean, it's cool that we have the little braids going around the top there. We got that ponytail, and that's good. But this face, buzz, woof. So moving on down to the body sculpt and the attire. Now, I've never said this on the channel, but I think the best part of this figure is the body sculpt. Now, I know that sounds weird, but I think they do a really good job with part choices for Ronda Rousey Basic Figures. You know, she had this body sculpt used a lot on previous basics. You know, her first basic was different, but we won't get into that. But yeah, the part choices and body sculpt that they use on Ronda Basics is pretty good and does a good job of capturing her physique. And a lot of times with women's basics, we don't get that. A lot of them are out of proportion, have wonky body parts chosen. But here, you know, I think that's okay. I think they do a really good job here with choosing the right body parts to capture her physique in a basic cost-cutting form. Now, moving on to the attire. It's boring, y'all. Now, this is the attire that she wore, and I get that. But as I mentioned before, if they're going to have such a plain basic attire, at least do something with this face and add those face details that she had with the makeup. But either way, this is what she wore. This is what we got. So we just have a plain black top here with baddest written in gold. It's almost like a video game text font there. Now, we do have like double straps here over the shoulder, which is a nice little touch, nice little detail. And they come down along the back. Now, her shorts are just painted on black here, but what's cool is they do go a little bit above that waist joint, so it does simulate how she wears her trunks. Around her wrist, we have her signature gloves taped on there, and those are just painted but look really cool. And then, obviously, on the bottoms, we have these gold lightning bolts, which do look really awesome as well, and they do go all the way around, so at least we have that deco 360. Now, she also has her short boot style, which is cool and unique to her. But yeah, I mean, there's just not a whole lot to say about this attire. And like I said, the one thing I can say is they've usually done a pretty good job as far as body sculpts go for Ronda Basics. But I would have rather seen this figure in elite form. I know the attire is basic, but maybe they could have put more detail into it as far as sculpting goes and really spice this figure up. Alright, so I wanted to do a little side-by-side comparison between some key figures of hers. Now, I do own every Ronda Rousey figure. I am a big fan of Ronda. I think what she brought to the women's division is pretty awesome. Brought a lot of eyes to the women's division, and that's always something I support. So, I was always a supporter and a fan of Ronda Rousey. I know that's kind of a controversial statement. A lot of people don't like her, but I like what she brought, in all honesty, and I'm going to miss her, and I hope she comes back. But I do have all her figures. I did a figure history video about 1.5 years ago. It's outdated by now, obviously. But I just put some key ones in front of me that have some unique and different face sculpts and scans. So you can kind of see how it compares to that new sculpt and scan. And I have to say, if we're looking at all these figures in front of me, which figure doesn't look like it belongs? Holy moly. This Basic Series 140, I like it even less when it's next to her previous figures. Like, wow. I mean, it's not good, y'all. So on the far left, we have Elite Series 65. This was not her first in the line figure, but it does share the same sculpt and scanner, a similar one to her first in the line Basic. It's pretty early in her career in WWE. Then we have Ultimate Edition Series 1. Then we have Elite Series 97. Then we obviously have Basic Series 140. So this Elite Series 65 if you're looking at this figure, I mean, it looks cool as far as the attire goes. The jacket, it's cool that she has jacket arms, so it looks nice and conforms to her arms. Now we have a smiling Ronda here with long hair over the shoulder. And I think they do a good job here. It's not perfect, not my favorite, but I think they do a good job. And like I said, this is early in her WWE run, so there's definitely room for improvement here. Next up, we have the Ultimate Edition Series 1. Now, this is the smiling ponytail scan, we'll call this. And she did have a few heads included, but I just wanted to show some different ones here. So this smiling ponytail scan, it's okay. I mean, I'm okay with it. It looks like her. It looks good. Now, obviously, what the Ultimate stands out is the jacket arms and the kilt together, and obviously the articulation. So the Ultimate Edition is kind of the end-all be-all Ronda Rousey, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a little hard to come by at this point, but either way, that looks good. Next up, we have one of my favorite elites, honestly. I said this in the review that this elite is fantastic. It's one of my favorite elites in my collection. Something about the all-black attire. And again, kind of like what I was saying, this basic 140. This is simple, plain attire, but they did it justice by having different sculpting. Like this top has sculpted folds in it, sculpted straps on that upper top there, smooth over belly button. I mean, they did a fantastic job here. And like I said, this is one of the most underrated elites in my opinion. I freaking love this figure. But anyway, looking at this face scan and sculpt, now this is one that was used quite a bit in her figures. It's the scariest ponytail sculpt is what we'll call this, and it looks just like her. Now let's look at basic 140. What are we doing here? Look at the face. Look at the face. So look here. Look at these two faces. Look at these two faces, and oh my gosh, they look like two different people. And I am standing by what I said earlier that this new sculpt is just way too puffy. It's way too big, kind of round. Like I said, it's like an Andre the Giant shaped skull shrunken down to female skull size, and it just does not look good. It looks horrible in my opinion. I think it looks pretty bad, so not a fan of that. But if you had to choose one Ronda Rousey figure to have in your collection, as much as I love this Elite 97 and it's one of my favorite elites of all times, if you can get the Ultimate Edition at a good price, at a fair price, I would go with that because it's really cool how you can display it in different ways. But if you can't pick that up, definitely get Elite 97 because that figure is awesome. Alright, so this has nothing to do with figures, but as you can tell, I've been implementing cards a little bit into LumberJillville. And this is a card that I just had pulled for me, actually, in a 2022 T-Mall WWE Select break. And this is one of my favorite, definitely a top 5 card in my collection. It is a gold Wave ringside Ronda Rousey. I freaking love this card. It is numbered 3 out of 10. And yeah, this card is just, it's beautiful. I can't tell you how much I think this card rocks. But I just wanted to show that. It's going to my Ronda shelf, but just a little bonus segment here. Alright, so overall, I give WWE Basic Series 140 Ronda Rousey an overall score of a 2 out of 10. That is one of the lowest scores I've ever given a figure. Now, here's the thing. I was at this SummerSlam, and this figure is sentimental to me for that reason. But putting the sentimental thoughts aside and giving my honest review of this figure for all of y'all, this figure, it's not good. It is not good at all. Now, like I mentioned, the attire is plain. That's fine. You can look past that. But if that's the case, then they really need to go the extra mile. Or at least use a face sculpt and scan that they used in the past. That would have been fine here. But what we got was this new sculpt, this new scan. And it is horrible. Horrible. I don't know if it's coming through the images as good as it is in hand. But it's not good, y'all. It is not good. And on top of that, okay, what really made it go even lower is they don't even have her makeup right to how it was on that night. Now, if you're going to give her plain attire, you're going to give her this new god-awful sculpt and scan, at least give her the proper eye makeup that was really unique to that night, right? So, yeah, I can't recommend this figure, honestly. It's very rare in this channel when I can't really find the good in a figure, but this figure just is not good. Definitely a pass. That's my recommendation. I don't recommend you wait for it on sale, or you buy it in stores, or you get it now off of Ringside. I recommend you don't buy this at all. There's tons of Ronda Rousey figures, and every single one of them is better than this one. So yeah, this is a bit disappointing, but like I said, at least it is based off of her SummerSlam 2022 attire, so for that, I don't feel as bad displaying it. Thanks for stopping by LumberJillville. Women's wrestling lives here. For a first look at all future women's wrestling figure reviews, make sure to hit subscribe and become an official resident of LJV today. And yes, Jill-O-Ween 4 has begun, so there's going to be a lot of content this month, not only a lot of figure reviews, but a lot of really exciting storylines and mini movies, if you will, in the intros. So I'm nervous as to what's going to happen to LJV, but I'm definitely excited to share it all with y'all. So thanks for watching, and have a great night, y'all.